something in the past 3 months at the tier 1 level. That's absolutely insane. I mean, everybody's been singing his praises. If I'm not mistaken, I think you might have even put him as the player you expect to finish the year as the #1 ranked player in the world.
Yeah, I thought he was absolutely nuts, and no, I think in the big events that counted, he actually had a higher rating than both Simple and Zyro, so it says a lot. But anyway, I do believe we're about to get underway in this match, so very much looking forward to seeing how these massive underdogs in sYnck get underway. I do believe that probably one of their star players is Andu, so I would keep an eye on him. But let's get started. Cloud9 on Ancient, that is our first map. Map 2 is Vertigo. And map 3 is Mirage, and we can have a chat about those maps as we go on in the series. But early exchanges, Axel and the Dualies will get traded.
Yeah, they're looking to try and breach their way in towards the B bomb side. Unfortunately for them, they have been cut down. Andu gets a kill back. Bomb is ticking away now, and Andu's actually just trying to buy as much time as he can. That's another kill on Hobbit, 2v2. There's a kit in play here on Buster, but yeah, T-side very much alive here in this round, looking to open up their account first. Shiro spots out one. They know that the other has to be towards Donut. Buster's actually recovered the Julies, and they're going to start to work in tandem as they make their way forward. Shiro now has located both players, but he's lost his head in the process. It's all on Buster. Like I said, he has got that kit. Does he just look to try and stick the defuse here? Andu repositioning.
Hello?
This is worst case scenario. No! Buster's got off the defuse! Why on earth has he stopped?
I'm confused. Round 1 into this game already, and I'm already a little bit baffled. I think if Buster holds that defuse, he gets that one through every day of the week. 8 days of the week, he gets that defuse if he holds it. That is a bit of a surprising start, but it is the man Andu. I called out his name, and he's already kicked off this series with 3 kills. Great stuff from him. Cloud9 force buy in response, 2 Mac 10s, and I think for sYnck, that's the dream start they could have hoped for in this sort of scenario.
Weird that Buster just looked so nervous there. It's not even like there were a crazy amount of footsteps charging towards him. Yeah, and it's not even like he could have won the round. If he gets the kill, there's no time to complete the defuse anyway. So surely in that instance, you're just better off sticking the defuse, as is Axile with the UMP. Gets aggressive, catches Cons off guard. And that does net them the man advantage off the back of the force buy. As I say that though, Watts will level it back into even keel. Oh, nice.
Yeah, another good kill gap. That's Axile down. Still probably touted as one of the best riflers in World CS right now. So if sYnck can do some work against him, then that can only be described as very impressive. Shiro will get some pop shots off through the gap in the box, but no more than that. And the bomb will go down once again. Buster can at least get a kill here and some bonus cash, and he will get that. It's back into a 2 versus 2, and I mean, there's not completely done just yet for sYnck. But here we are, sorting this round out as it stands. Should be no problem, and yeah, Buster will decide to fall away. They found 2 AK, so playing for exits and making this round expensive for sYnck is probably the best idea. Tends to be the situation when, especially when you find 2 AK-47s, you want to just try and get the kills, and there you go. Shiro will catch Fates from the fallback, and now it's just down to Eku. He will fight for his life, but he will manage to stay alive nicely. Unfortunately, the bomb is what takes him down, so it will be no one staying alive for sYnck, and that actually might give Cloud9 a bit of an interesting decision, because as everyone has died on sYnck, the reinvestment has to be maximum, and a force buy probably could be the right idea.
I think especially when you're playing against a team, when you're such massive favorites, I think you want to keep as much pressure on them as you possibly can. I would have loved to have seen Cloud9 go for the force buy here. Not show as much respect to sYnck as they would their normal tier 1 opponents. But look at this. Speaking about not showing respect, sYnck just leading the charge straight in towards the B bomb side. Buster's here with the AK, but he is blind as hell. And unfortunately, out in no man's land, he goes down without having much impact with the AK. Just a bit of damage inflicted. So, as expected, sYnck will go clean 3-0. It's as expected. I'm referring to the fact that it was an anti-eco for them. What do they have to lose, though, Trav? You know,
they have nothing to lose. Yeah, exactly. They are the biggest underdogs in a big IEM qualifier like this for a long time. And honestly, talking about big IEM qualifiers, this is probably the most stacked big IEM qualifier that has been sort of played in the last few months. I mean, you've got NIP, OG, a rematch from Blast recently. You've got Spirit versus Astralis, a rematch from Pro League. and you've got Godsent and Fnatic, two legendary organizations going up against each other once again.
Yeah.
So obviously that's not the old days of that famous Fnatic Godsent mix with JW Flusher that we saw all those years ago.
Yeah, of course,
But-
like Schneider and Lekro,
Yes,
Devil
exactly.
Walk, like just a crazy transition between that Fnatic and Godsend team where they kind of split down the center and then eventually gravitated back towards Fnatic.
Yeah, pretty crazy era, and it's interesting to see those two teams play against each other once again, with Fnatic, of course, with
Yeah.
their EU mix now, and the last remaining player of the legendary team in Crims, and now Draken and Golden coaching the Godsent side, which is pretty interesting. But anyway, first big gun round in this game for sYnck. Can they overcome the Shiro AWP and the Axile M4, the two biggest threats, without a doubt, on this side? Hobbit's been playing very well lately, of course, as well. They made the finals of Pro League, did Cloud9, and they didn't put up a bad showing, of course, as well. There was an argument that the Inter's removal was a bad choice by many people across the scene, but they've already seen that with Buster they can do some great work. Now it's time for Shiro to step up in toward Temple. Eki's looking for the donut flank, and he will go back and check it nicely. And the trades are superb because Cons is right above his teammate.
Yeah.
Easy trade, but Shiro has taken Watts in the meantime.
Great double peek coming through there from them in towards Donut. As you say, Shiro will level the numbers back out. Have to make the retake happen, and there's no kit in play here, so time is of the essence. Not only are they working against these three players left for sYnck, they're working against the clock as well. They have a couple flashes, a smoke grenade at their disposal as well. Buster leads the charge out of Temple. Oh, double kill. There we go. That should lock it in. Smoking towards Donut. Fates is going to have to just hope and pray and spray into the smoke to deny the defuse. He's running out of ammo. 11 bullets left. Finds the frag on the first. Can't complete the spray on the second. Tapping away with the clock though. He'll get the kill. And that's a 1v3 clutch for Fates.
Oh, Fates, the man with all the experience. What did I say about him? He's been playing in professional CS since 2014, and he makes that experience show perfectly right there. sYnck with a dream start, 4-0. And he was just aware that Cloud9 did not have a defuse kit in that situation. Calmly went about his work, made sure the Glock got into action, spammed down the diffuser, couldn't hold it off Cloud9. And that is an absolutely sterling job from Fates. Again, they all go down to the bomb on this time around. And that, I mentioned, is obviously a big issue for their long-term T-side economy. But Cloud9 haven't fully forced back into it knowing that, so sYnck have a good chance to reach 5 early on.
Yeah, they want to keep numbers alive here as well, just as as you mentioned. They don't have much money in the bank. They want to build up a bit of an economic buffer, and they're going to split in towards A. Axile just goes down through the smoke, and it's going to be 5-0. And not only that, but they actually have a really good chance of keeping majority of their players alive here. Okay, well, I mean, sYnck are asking some questions of Cloud9 early on here. T-side of Ancients, it's their map pick, sure. And keep in mind, we go to Vertigo next, which is just the stronghold for Cloud9. They've played it 8 times in the past 3 months. They haven't lost it once. So this is a must-win map for sYnck if there's ever a world in which they're able to make the upset happen.
Yeah, we talk about must-win maps. I think this is the most must-winningest map
Yeah,
I've ever
yes.
seen in a series for sYnck, because Ancient has to come through. Vertigo, historically, even back when this Cloud9 roster formed, even on their old organizations, they were absolute monsters when Vertigo came into the pool. They were the ones who innovated that map. Shiro, for example, and there's a statistic that I always check with Shiro on Vertigo that I believe in like 150 maps he's played on that map on HLTV. Like his borderline 10, 15 where he's gone negative. He's been positive every single one other than those. And I like checking that one every now and then to see how many negative maps he's had, because I can assure you it is a very, very small number. Shiro is an absolute beast on Vertigo, but he's negative on Ancient so far, and sYnck have the perfect start at 5-0.
Yeah, they do. They really have had a great start, blistering start. You looked at the bookies' odds coming into this, and everybody had completely written sYnck off. So the fact that they're up 5-0 right now, yeah, absolutely. Cloud9, 7th best team in the world right now.
Yep.
Some of the best players in the world, as you mentioned, Axile and Shiro. My god, 180 grenade does 120 damage across 3 players. Buster tucked into the corner, does get hard cleared. That's a team flash, so that blinds him up, cost him his life. Hobbit is able to atone for his sins, though. He gets a double kill. Nafany charges through from Cave. Won't be able to deny the bomb plant, but he does polish off the round, and Cloud9 are on the board.
Yeah, that's how it should be for Cloud9. The entry was good, but the damage was just too significant, as you say. Eku was good for that one, but already got tagged up by those grenades, and now Cloud9 will collect absolutely everything on the ground, all the spare utility, so they don't have to repurchase it themselves. And that will get their first round on the board on the CT side. And of course, we mentioned multiple times in our cast that we've done together, with the changes to Ancient, the T side is most certainly a bit more favourable now than the CT side. I think overall it's still a slightly CT-sided map, but nowhere near as much as it was, with the CT spawn being moved back, of course, and a few cubby positions changed and sizes changed of those situations, and it's made the map a little bit easier to work with.
Yeah. Honestly, I actually think sYnck are going to have an easier time of it on the T side in the series than they will the CT side, just because of how much depth Cloud9 have on their T side. I think it's going to be really tough for sYnck to try lock down the defense across the map, where you don't get to work as the unit and dictate the pace of the game. So I actually really feel like they need to get the lion's share of their work done on this T side. The HE grenade actually collides with Eku. Shiro, how on earth does he miss that shot? Completely uncharacteristic. He even knew the player was going to come around the corner.
Oh, Cons. He's made a decent play, but unfortunately, Shiro is ready and raring for this one, and he's got his teammate on the boost to watch A long as well. Bomb is coming this way. Andu needs his frag, but Buster gets it done. Buster's had some really impactful kills so far, but that's a huge shot from Cons. Shiro, wide swung, destroyed. Axel needs a kill, but he can't get one either. The 2 stars of the team get away with nothing at all. And Fates will now move forward with that AWP. I mentioned that, historically, he's not necessarily been the AWPer, but he's hitting some nice shots in this game. Lovely flick toward Buster, and from a 5 versus 3, it's now a 3 versus 2, and he's holding for the rotation of Nafani as well. Watts will take Hobbit, and that is a recovery and a half from the Estonian monsters. How long can they keep this going?
So much depth to that round as well for sYnck. That's what just makes it so much so impressive. I love the innovative smoke they throw in front of A main. It just allows them to isolate Axile, right? They go for the wide swing, prepared for him to be boosted up. And yeah, they're able to root him out of position. And from there, pretty much everything just falls into place for sYnck. Cloud9 will call a tactical timeout here, maybe giving Groove an opportunity to get the team into the groove, because it's not at all been the start of the map or the series that Cloud9 would have expected.
And I had a feeling, I had a feeling that this wasn't going to be absolutely plain sailing. I feel like no matches in decent tier 2, tier 1 CS these days are ever an absolute wipeout. They're usually pretty close. Obviously, we have to bear into consideration that sYnck, I wouldn't even call necessarily a tier 2 team. They've sort of come through tier 3 very quickly to reach this qualifier. And as we mentioned, they only beat teams like Lasercats, Tricked, who are currently, a bit of looking rough as an organization with scaling back their operations. And, of course, Nine Pandas, who did beat NIP. Nine Pandas is Seed's team, of course.
Yes.
But, yeah, it's not exactly the hardest run they ever had to make to get through to the close qualifier. But it shows that they've got the basics down and they've got the skill to go toe-to-toe with teams like Cloud9. Sure, we'll get a good opening in the following round, and that's a dirty, grimy angle from Hobbit. Can't get away with that one, Eku, and it's another 5v3 to work with.
Yeah, Cons has to get this kill towards Donut. It does look like the CTs are ready for the play. Great presence of mind there from Axile. Even though he had a teammate in towards Donut, he was still making sure he held that angle while his teammate completely cleared it out. And it's a clean round coming through for Cloud9, 5 versus 2. And it doesn't look like they're going to be slowing down there either. Hobbit continues to close the gap, pushes deep into middle. He's going to flank around them here.
Yeah, he's got the correct play here, Hobbit. And it's worth taking a risk on this sort of HP as well. 20 HP, look for info, push forward, and might even just get 2 free kills on the back here. Yelps directly in front of him.
Knife him.
And the lineup. Perfectly done from Hobbit.
Okay.
Triple kill. I wanted the knife as well. Money would actually be pretty nice if he got that knife kill, but in reality, it's important to secure the round when you're 6 behind.
Problem is, he probably gets traded if he gets the knife on the first player, so you can understand why he just lines them up and knocks them down. Also, Cloud9 keep 5 players alive, so they're going to slowly start to feel like they're getting into the game here. And they have actually broken that T-side economy in the process. I must say, it's really cool to see a full Estonian lineup. These guys have been playing together for, I think, since like October, just under a different couple of banners. It was Estonia before this, and then a few players played for an org called SC, I believe. So they've got some history. They've got synergy as well. And I mean, you think about, there's quite a few talented Estonian players. Obviously, Rop's the top of the list. Gio, or Gio, another player that comes to mind. HS.
Liga, yeah.
Yes. You've got Shocks in the mix as one of those players. So there's been a number of very talented players to come out of the Estonian region, but I don't ever recall, casting a full Estonian team besides maybe that Estonia mix. But it's good to see them being backed by an org now.
Yeah, this is my first time casting sYnck. I've watched plenty of their games, of course, as they came through the Open Qualifier and seen them play. But yeah, as you say, we've just seen Estonian players really dotted around the place in Tier 2. We all know about Rops, but you mentioned Shocks and Gio, who we've casted quite a few times in these Tier 2 events, in the online cups, of course. And Shocks was formerly of Movistar Riders and Team Finest as well, I believe, which, of course, Fates played on Team Finest for a little bit as well as in previous occasions in his career.
Yeah.
And these guys have a lot of experience, and of course all very skilled. It's not like we're casting noobs here, I can assure you. Anyone who's never heard of this team, they are all very skilled, very hard to play against if you don't know them. And maybe we're seeing that so far for Cloud9, but they are just 3 rounds behind again now. First tag will come in. Cons down to 60 HP from that. Looks like Nafany really wants to go and take some control of Jag, but Cons is the one holding against that with Andu in support, and Andu has been one of the star players for sYnck in their upcoming run. We all know about Cloud9, so I think it's important for us to educate you guys a bit more on sYnck. I think the Estonian fans in chat know all about them, but some guys I'm sure, will not have heard of these guys before, so good to give them some exposure on a big ESL stream like this and a big qualifier against a top quality team.
They're setting themselves up for a B exec right now. Time ticking down. Haven't been able to find the opening pick. Nafany going to get swung on by Cons. That's the opening kill in the round secured. Damage has been done, though. So a couple of the players have been chipped down on that sYnck roster. Although it looks like they might be able to get onto the B bomb site without much resistance here because of the smokes they've deployed.
Boost.
Yeah, Shearer's going to get elevated here. Does spot the player jumping across onto the side. Can't do anything about that bomb plant. 5v4 post plant situation here. Advantage sYnck.
Cons was actually pushed quite far up as well, and Axel was aware of that one. He was low, so may as well take that risk of getting at least one more kill before you go down. Now the retake can come in. 2 defuse kits in play, 1 incendiary, 1 HE grenade. In comes the incendiary, and in comes the nade. When do sYnck choose to pounce? Axel will get the first, Andu gets 1, Eku gets the quick recovery, and I think they've seen the player in the cubby. Great shot. Axel removed, and Hobbit can do nothing about this one. sYnck will once again hold off against the retake, and they'll hit round number 7. This is a very impressive showing so far on their map pick.
Absolutely. What makes it so impressive is that they've actually lost around here or there, but it's not like that's completely broken them. When you watch a game like this and you see the underdog go up 5-0 or 6-1, you're like, okay, yeah, cool, it's a good start, but good starts don't win you games. And it's almost like you just watch each round expecting Cloud9 to dominate and then eventually get full control of the game. But sYnck have actually been challenging them. They've been pushing them. I mean, it's not even like they were offered up any free frags in that round. They had to essentially start to make their moves with all 10 players alive on the server, and they actually did such a good job of it.
Yeah, that smoke up that blocked off Buster from doing any more damage was pretty impressive. Buster's been probably the main man for Cloud9 so far. Great on the anchorage, and look at this. sYnck just turning up the pace, and they've managed to run their way in to an open A bomb site. Can you believe that? They're just going to peek Shiro straight up, and that's the confidence we've seen from Andu through that open qualifier run. Shiro, bye-bye. See you next round. Good recovery from Hobbit. Will take down Eku through the edge of that smoke. And Nafany will switch to that AWP as the bomb goes down. Another retake is a possibility, and Hobbit will get another smoke spam. But the play from Watts could be big. He catches Axel in the back. That lurk is superb. He's going to be behind Donut as well in a second. Hobbit's going to have to check this at some point. He knows about it, so he's going to push further forward. Behind the big box is Cons dancing around for his life. Nafany down to 15 HP. Cons looking for the spray. Gets taken down, but Watts on that flank still gets it done. And once again, the time is too far gone. Cloud9 are not winning this one either. sYnck taken 8th. Buster will save. And
oh, no.
sYnck...
Okay.
Oh, just about gets the AWP. Okay, we're good. And sYnck will have a guaranteed lead at half-time.
Yeah, you're right. They've won the half at the bare minimum here inside the first 11 rounds. And how impressive was that call coming through from their IGL as well? Just charging into the A bomb site. We saw a far more passive approach in the previous round. And actually, Cloud9 employ the variation. They split in towards that second mid area, in towards Speedway, through middle and B. They get aggressive. They look to try and force fights, but there's nobody home. And then they start to hear all that util blooming on the A-bomb site, and then their hearts just drop into their stomach and they realize exactly what's going on. They'll afford another investment here. There aren't any kits, and they're a bit light on utility as well. If sYnck win this round, Trav, they go up 9-3, and there's no money in play for the CT side. That would be the first time I think Cloud9 would start to get a little bit stressed and nervous here on the map.
Yeah, just think needs to be a little bit careful. They don't start getting too confident, right? Now, over peaking, use your flashes correctly and use the utility that has got you these round victories already. It's probably the sort of tier 2 and tier 3 teams. It's consistency that you need to work it out. And Hobbit, oh, how does he not get that kill? 14 HP to spare on Andu. Once again, they've got themselves into a bomb site. This time it's B, and Eku is holding the flank with the AWP. Picked up from the body of Fates, and it doesn't even matter. Whoever uses it, if you hit your shot. And that's all good in the hood for sYnck. Shiro is going to have to fall back and save. Only $300 in the bank, like you mentioned. This AWP save is now actually pretty critical. And if sYnck really want to, they should probably hunt with at least 2 of their players here. They're getting toward the end of the half anyway. Might as well look for Shiro, and now he's been spotted and he can be chased down.
Shiro's looking in some rough form so far here on Ancient, just looking like a shadow of the player we know he's capable of being. Missed a number of elementary shots so far. And it looks like sYnck are starting to actually play with confidence now. These guys are having some faith. Shiro, oh, okay. Important no-scope landed. Means he's going to be able to stay alive. But, yeah, I think you just look at the individuals of sYnck, and it's not even like one player's not keeping up with the pace. Every time somebody has to make a play, every time somebody's called into action, they've all actually been able to take that responsibility. So
yeah,
they're looking like a really well-rounded unit right now.
They are, genuinely. And that's the most important thing, right? I mean, I mentioned Fates, who's been AWPing and all the experience, and Andu is the second top rated, but the biggest factor is that everyone's fragging well, and that it shows that it doesn't matter if you have star players, it's a team effort. And everyone is chipping in right now, which is great to see. Quick tactical pause. Sort out the situation for Cloud9. Of course, they will be going for a buy here. With the AWP saved for Shiro. Buster can afford an M4. At least an M4 dropped over. He is an A4 user rather than an A1S user. So that'll be dropped over, and they're going to use a FAMAS and 2 MP9s. So you think that Cloud9 may want to go aggressive with those SMGs at some point?
Bold decision to go for the force here around that AWP. Loses round 10-3, becomes 11-3 if you aren't able to save any weapons. Shiro finally finds an opening pick. That might be his first opening pick of the map. Nafany continues to aggress off the back of that though, and that costs him his life. Gifts up that early advantage that Shiro did so well to find, and look at Eku. He's been able to lurk into the backlines. He finds himself in CT spawn. Shiro caught completely off guard, and now he's going to capitulate onto that A-bomb site.
And that just leaves Axel in a horrible position as well. Getting pinched from the back, not much you can do about that. And Hobbit, well, he may get one kill. He's going to have to fall back away. This is kind of all on Buster now. He's got a kit as well, and he needs this kill right here, right now. And he just about gets it. 2 versus 2. Utility available. Hobbit needs this frag, but he's going up against the AWP of Fates. And Fates has been so good at these trades in this game so far. It's not like he's going above and beyond, but he's getting these important mid-round frags that keeps Cloud9 at bay. And Fates gets it done again. Buster will go down. Triple for Fates. And sYnck, double digits, 10-3. Hello.
What's so crazy is that you look at the frag count across the server. Hobbit's the top of the server at 13-8. Buster's second at 12-9. But they're losing 10-3 right now, and that just speaks volumes to the well-rounded team performance coming through from sYnck. Everybody's chipping in. Axile and Shiro, the 2 players we hyped up the most, the 2 strongest players in terms of their individual ability on the server, are really struggling to get themselves into this game here against the underdogs. I think the bookies are sweating a little bit here, Trav.
Yes, this is genuinely probably the biggest underdog story in CS this year, if sYnck somehow managed to win this BO3, but that is a long, long way away. That too should be an absolute lock for Cloud9, but you never know. It is Counter-Strike. Anything can happen. That's what we love about this game.
Yeah, I think the biggest upsets of the year so far was Fnatic versus Let Us Cook, and I was casting that game, Trav. So if I get to cast this game and sYnck somehow pull off a remarkable upset, then I guess I'm the omen at that point.
Yeah, well, maybe you are, because again, sYnck have gleaned a 3 versus 2. And they can just bide their time here. Buster and Shiro remain. Echo wandering up toward Red Room. He has got a chance to get into a donut, but he's spotted by
Oh.
Buster. That's a good information play from Buster. But now they know that he's there. They're going to try and go in together toward the B-bomb site. As a duo, rotations will be here pretty quickly, but the bomb can go down, and that's a lovely shot from
Nice.
Con. Standing up against Buster. No chance. And now it's down to Fates to get this shot done, but that's a bit of a miss. And Shiro, with the FAMAS, if that was any other gun, I can assure you, he probably would have got that kill. But now he's got a good chance. 1 versus 2. No kit, of course. Fates. Probably will have to try and just die for his teammate in this situation. At least hold the angle, and there you go. He will go down. So it's Cons 1 versus 1. Shiro has a smoke. He can possibly lure Cons out, but before that smoke goes down, Cons will remove him. And that is the way to do it. Don't let your opponent get set in a possible defuse in a smoke. Peek him while he's throwing that utility. And sYnck up 11-3. Hello. This is getting very, very interesting now. If they can get a 12-3 T-half, you'd have to say that Cloud9 will need a stunning recovery to at least not go one map down.
Absolutely. I mean, surely sYnck will finish off the job. I mean, 11-4. They would have snapped your arm off if you offered that up at the start of the map. Jesus. And I mean, Cloud9, they've had FAMAS's MP9s. They haven't had the AWP as much as they would have liked. They've lost the opening pick here once again. It's their talisman Buster that's gone down. There's a response in towards middle. Andrew, though, has a response of his own. The trade's heavily favoring sYnck. It's a 3v1. Where on earth are Cloud9? They're certainly not on Cloud9 right now, Trav.
They're not on the server right now. That's what it feels like. Shiro 1 versus 3. Fates and Echo try and get themselves to 12, and Fates is holding the perfect line. But the bomb is being planted toward A, and that has been heard by Shiro. But of course, he's going to be split at some point, and Fates will even switch to the M4 just to make doubly sure that he has a fully automatic weapon to get this round done in an awkward situation where he's betwixt in between. Shiro will choose to go through Donut instead. Has a flash, but of course no kit, so he's going to have to hurry up. And there's no saving on the final round of the half. First kill to come through, not being able to oh my goodness, I can't believe it. Echo just destroyed him. Shiro's not had a chance in this half. And guess what? We're going into half time with sYnck 12-3 up. See you after the break. Adjust your sets and do not rub your eyes. You really are seeing sYnck 12, Cloud9 3 on the first map of Ancient. It's been a superb team performance from them so far. Can they get this one over the line? It's now Cloud9's T side to fight up against them. Shiro with the P250 already looking to duel. Let's go.
Well, Shiro finds a duel, and he comes off second best, which has been the case throughout this map so far. Andu gets a kill as well. Oh, Eku gets baited in, though. Aggression costs him his life. Fate's desperately trying to trade. He's caught a dink, but he responds with one of his own onto Hobbit. Clean kill coming through. 3v2. Retake underway, but there's no catch here, Trav. And the smoke is perfect. They have to go through it. That gives Axile all the advantage in the world. Double kill should be enough to lock in the round.
Yeah, perfectly played. They have
Wait,
forced their way through the smoke, but Fates, again, he's hit 2 headshots in this game, in this round, that completely make no sense at all. And finally needs 1 body shot to complete this round, but Fates is flanking him, Fates is flanking him. Oh, he quick switches at the last moment. It's a nightmare, but no, it's now down to a pillar dance between the two of them. He still gets it, but I'm afraid there is no time remaining to defuse. Oh, Fates. NT's in chat for that one, but I think he'll even go down to the bomb. He will. That was so scary for a split second. I do wonder if he hadn't switched to his knife in that split second and got that kill straight away, would he have had enough time? It would have been very, very close.
I think he would have. I'll stick my neck out and say I think he would have had just enough time if he gets that kill instantly as he rounds the corner and sees Nafany, because he's on top of the bomb. So damn close. Clean kills. Cloud9 sweating bullets. And, I mean, essentially, it felt like an unlosable post plant with that smoke deep in towards CT. And they had to push through the smoke, all 3 players. Axile was farming them. Either way, sYnck are going to force back in response to losing that pistol. 3 Desert Eagles, a 5-7, and MP9. No two ways about it for Cloud9 here, Trav. Have to win against the Force 5.
That's a good start. Hobbit will deal with Echo over the top of the smoke. Hobbit will not be fooled by that one. Yeah, those 2 shots from Fates in that previous round, one just charging through a smoke and one after being headshot himself. 2 kills that wouldn't expect to really come in those scenarios for anyone in the professional scene. He made it happen. Unfortunately, not the round in the end. The pillar dance went Nafany's way.
Yeah. Had his dancing shoes on, man. As it does look like Cloud9 are going to start to shift themselves in towards this B-bomb site. Nobody on the site as things stand. Andu segregated by the smokes. There's a player in towards Jaguar. Okay. Alright. Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, okay.
Why not? If not, why not?
You may as
He's
well
going to go through the smoke here? No, never mind. Okay. Thought it was the back of the flash, maybe.
I have a couple
Still
more
a fresh smoke for
flashes.
Shiru. Yeah, I mean, I don't expect Cloud9 to drop the round from here, though.
Just kills would be good. And there you go. Cons has come back in. And it's actually kind of a bit of a carbon copy of how it went previously.
Awful smoke.
Smoke isn't great, and actually Andu will headshot Buster. Now it's a 4 versus 2. They can try and just swarm them here. It's a big whiff from Axel. Now it's just down to Shiro. 1. He tries to hop away from the second, but probably he should have stuck that one and got that second kill. Needs 1 bullet to find it, and does. He's now saved the situation. Shiro's about to win a 1 versus 4. Watts will try and take him down and might be able to as he falls away towards CT, and he does. But now the bomb blast, once again, will remove him. Shiro saves the day for Cloud9 and saves their blushes.
Only needed a 1v4. I mean, I love his game sense there, though, right? Because even after he gets the kill, he doesn't hang around to continue to force the fights. He knows that he just has to buy time. Uses that smoke to his advantage, and it was actually the missed smoke that worked out perfectly for him to retreat back into. Should have been deeper, but if it was deeper, it meant he wouldn't have had that cover. So, actually, inadvertently works out for Shiro at the end of the day.
Yeah, that's huge. Because, of course, if sYnck somehow found a way to win that round, it would have once again flipped the storyline as it is now, even though everyone's gone down, which is actually the carbon copy of how sYnck's T-half went early doors. Cloud9 have to build up their economy in this particular round. sYnck on their eco. Find Cons safely. And Axel will hit a nice shot on toward Eku, so this should be fine. Yeah. I was surprised in that clutch attempt from Shiro that he didn't just hold down mouse 1 on that first 2 duels. It would have made it a lot less scary if he used more of his bullets in the Galil. And he would have got that second kill if 1 more bullet connected. He did manage to finish it off later, so no issues in the end. And no issues in this round for Cloud9. Now this is where we get a little bit concerned for sYnck.
Yeah.
If they can't find a way to win their first gun round on CT side, then Cloud9, you'd have to say, almost even odds to still take this map.
Exactly, because if they win this round, 12-7 becomes 12-8, and then from there you back Cloud9 to win Ancient on their T side. They're slowly starting to get the ball rolling. Players are waking up. Nafany's having a tough time of it, 6-14 right now. Outside of him, though, players are pitching up to the server. This is where sYnck are going to look to make a statement. How legit is this performance on Ancient? Do they have what it takes to complement that super strong T side with a formidable CT side?
No.
Echo, he has all those footsteps, but unfortunately, he's spoiled for choice in terms of targets, and he goes down, and I think that sYnck are just going to save.
Yeah, that's just pure nerves from Eku there. There's nothing else to say about that. He knows his team is in an insane situation, and he knows he's the one man that needs to step up and deliver at least a 1-for-1. And that spray, unfortunately, as we all saw, was a bit all over the place.
Yeah. You know what they say, if you chase two rabbits, you won't catch either of them, Trav.
Yeah, exactly. I'm sure there are many foxes and many stoats that have had that tail.
There we go. I do want to go back to the conversation that we were having at the start of the game, and you were mentioning how incredibly stacked this closed qualifier is. 6 of the 8 teams are in the top 20. So
Yeah.
that just tells you all you need to know, really. Cloud9, the highest ranked of the lot, ranked 7th. sYnck, the lowest ranked, 115th. Now, obviously, I'd say once you get out of the top 50, you know, rankings mean a lot less because it's just all over the place, right? But still, a massive disparity between these two teams for sure. Obviously, that just goes without saying.
Of course. And of course, the other scores in the other matches right now are pretty interesting. NIP and then rematch with OG is currently 12-3 at half for NIP. Strider 7 a 9-5 lead early on against Spirit, and Godsend a 10-4 up on Fnatic. We saw Fnatic against 9 yesterday in the Blast Showdown. Lost to 9. Tier 2 teams causing Fnatic issues at the moment. But anyway.
I mean, Fnatic have been in rough form lately, actually.
Yeah, I would say in general. You're not wrong. Eku in mid, can he make up for the previous round? He can't, but at least he gets traded for Mandu. Unfortunately, there are just too many players in mid. sYnck try to fight for it, and they couldn't fight their way out.
I mean, look at where the corpses are, though, Trav. That's my problem. It's like, what's the setup? You've got 2 players just standing out in the open on an island, essentially. And, I mean, they were just always vulnerable to being traded. Axile, good awareness from him, is going to close the gap in towards the say bomb site. Bomb makes its way through Donut 2 versus 3. sYnck will fancy themselves in this situation, despite the fact that they're down by a man. They've got a kit, they've got a little bit of utility, but never mind. That kill alone should be enough to secure the round for Cloud9.
Yeah.
Oh, 1 point of health.
Yeah, that angle from Axel will never help you on the advantage in that situation, and Fate should be going down here. There we go. And suddenly, Cloud9 are the team in the ascendancy. You mentioned earlier on, and I'm going to sing your praises on this prediction, that the Cloud9 T side might look a lot easier than their CT side, just because they have superior tactics. And right now, we are seeing that. sYnck are in a weird situation. They can buy very easily. They can even go for a double AWP if they want to. But they have not got a handlehold on this CT side yet whatsoever.
And this is the gun round that if they lose, then not only is it a 50-50 playing field, it's actually going to be advantage Cloud9, even though they're behind on the scoreboard. They're certainly in the ascendancy right now. And you got to wonder, you know, when you see these types of performances from underdogs, how much do they really have in the tank? Great to see a team get close, but winning the map was, even at the 12-3 half, the job wasn't done.
Indeed. Shiro holding the crack in mid. And they won't go for double AWP, sYnck. They'll just keep one on Fates. They'll get naded by that jump throw. Can do a pretty decent amount of damage. And Cons wins a big duel in Jaguar. That's huge. I do believe Cons is the IGL, so that was an IGL on IGL battle there between him and Nafany. Wins it with 3 HP to spare, but Buster also walking wounded on 5 HP. Eku needs his frag, gets it, and look at the damage he's done. So much. 25 health between Buster and Shiro.
Unrecoverable.
Axel, I should say. This is, yeah, unrecoverable, as you say. With the bomb in mid and Eku having full reign of that, this should finally be sYnck getting off the mark.
They've got a lot of money to the T side. I thought they might just commit to the save, take the AK in the open to the next round. Buster does peer in towards middle. That costs him his life. Axile's just going to hang around now. And it's going to be sYnck who pick up a round on the CT side, so that reinvigorates them. That gives them the advantage. And obviously, I'm not referring to the points on the board. I'm just talking about the mental game and the balance of this match in general.
Yeah. This is big for Axile here. If he can get one more kill while saving this AWP, then that would force a significant reinvestment for sYnck. In sYnck's case right now, they're just really desperate to survive with 3 players alive, honestly. So they only have to drop 2 guns.
Yeah.
I think even Watts on $1,050 might even be able to buy himself if need be, but Exile is trying to survive in Jaguar and now he'll be spotted. So if you can stay alive, that would be big. And I think sYnck will, they'll weigh it up in their mind. They'll think, okay, do we try and stay alive with 3 or do we throw 1 player in to try and take Axel down after time? That would be pretty big, but at the same time, with the bank built up, it doesn't really matter. It's more important to focus on your own money. And that is what they will do. Axel will survive with that, drop it over to Shiro. And as you said, plenty of cash available. So sYnck off the mark on CT side. Big round for them.
I actually backed them to win the map from here, Trav, after the way they win that previous round. 13-8, they need to win 3 more rounds from here. That was a solid performance out of them. I love the initiative Cons takes in towards Jaguar. They're not playing fearful Counter-Strike right now. They're getting into the faces of their opponents. They're making moves. That was a really good round. Cons, you mentioned in the IGL, he's also tied for the top of the frag count on his team. 17 kills alongside Fates.
Playing very well. Quick tech pause in. Hopefully won't be too long. sYnck, of course, they had what could be considered an easy run in at least the HLTV stage of the Open Qualifier for this. They beat Trick to currently scaling back their operations and not looking too great. Laser Cats, then 9 Pandas, Seeds team to make it through. 9 Pandas did, of course, beat NIP in that first Open Qualifier. And NIP managed to make it through in the end in the second.
Yeah. Which was actually a more difficult run for them as well.
It was more difficult, yeah. You're absolutely right. I'm sure quite a lot of people in chat will know Fates if you don't know the rest of the team. He's the guy with the biggest known history. Has a history dating back as far as 2014. Played for teams like Hellraisers, Nordavind, Finest. Went to NA for a bit and played on Strife. And he's always been a quality rifler, so seeing him open in this team is certainly interesting.
Felt like it's never really worked out for him, and by no fault of his own type of thing, just always external problems, which has made it challenging for him in his career. But hey, he hasn't let that disparage him. Look at him now, thriving and flying. If they win this round, it starts to become a bit more circumspect for Cloud9. Slight gap there will be exploited. Hobbit finds the opening kill. Excuse me, yeah, it wasn't from that gap, but still, first frag found. There is a kill elsewhere onto Buster. Levels out the playing field, 4v4.
Hon's playing in the tight angle in Jaguar as well. Not sure necessarily Nafany will realise that he's in that tight position, but he's got Hobbit in support now as he wanders up toward the outskirts of B. If any CT side has control of that outside B portion, it can be so difficult to recover the round for a T side. But it's only Cons here really at the moment. 1 player on the B site itself, 1 player in mid. And Cons might just wander in here. That would be a bad choice, but the timing's still good. He at least goes 1 for 1.
Huge.
But Axile, see you later, Eku. Bomb was dropped outside B, so that's good information for sYnck for Fates and Watts, but Axel can now just throw all his utility in toward A, and they're going to have a free bomb site for this plant.
Great read coming through from Cloud9, just good awareness in general. They knew that they would have pulled those rotations across to the B bomb site just by the nature of how the round had played out. And after Axile gets that kill, they just immediately put the pedal to the metal. And sYnck, well, they don't want anything further to do with this round. They just have to save both these guns. They've got, what, 3 counts of round loss bonus behind them. Obviously, just 1 was removed from their round win. But $2,900 coming into the account. Yeah, it's going to be enough to subsidize the buy in the next round here for the CT side. But Cloud9, they're keeping themselves in the conversation. I didn't expect to say that that phrase or that line coming into this game, Trav.
No, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. And of course, I was expecting to, have a slow Cloud9 victory, which is, relatively easy. And talking about how the integration of Buster, while it may have been a bit controversial, that of course Inters was removed. Buster has already seemingly buffed the team slightly with them making the grand finals of Pro League. But yeah, at the moment, It's a very tight game, and actually anyone's game as it stands. Shiro did go down to the bomb in that previous round win for Cloud9, so they only survived with 2 players alive, I believe, actually. So I may have misseen that, but Shiro did definitely go down to the bomb, so that's an extra bit of cash that has to be reinvested. Might come back to bite them later on in this half.
Yeah, we'll have to see if that's the case or not. Going to be another gun round, and this is the round that sYnck need to win to maintain their position in the driver's seat. Lose this 13-10. Money, not enough to reinvest across the board. They have shown a tendency to continue to make moves, right? You've seen Cons just like pushing through Jaguar. They're not afraid to get into the faces of Cloud9. They're contesting middle as well. So they're not playing like crazy underdogs and just reserved in their shell.
No, and that's what was great, especially on their T side. They really showed that they were willing just to straight up peak, you know, the Axiles and Shiros of the world. Play with confidence. And Watts is certainly playing with confidence here. He's pushed all the way through. Okay, bomb side. Surely Axel will go down in the back here. Free kill. There we go. Early 5 versus 4. And now Nafany will have to give that one a glance, but he's not in the best of angles. That's a position that's a pretty 50-50 duel, but in the meantime, Hobbit has walked through Red Room, taking advantage of this situation. He can just go straight behind toward A right now. Fates will take down Nafany, and they're still insistent on leaving the bomb around this position. Watts can just hold off against this retake right now, but he does go down. That's big. Now there's a chance to get toward A, because look where Hobbit is.
Watts completely overplays his hand there when you look at the setup for the CT side. He should know that if he goes down, he costs his team pretty much everything in the round. Sure, they still have the man advantage, but it's going to have to be a retake. There's no kit in play. There's a bit of utility. Hobbit has a superb position. So much information to relay through to his teammates. Gets a kill on Fates. Knows where Andu is. He's going to deploy the smoke and continue to buy time and space. Hobbit is the hero of the round.
Yeah, just heads up play from Hobbit, moving himself into that position. Even though sYnck got that kill on Fates, I was thinking to myself, okay, that actually doesn't matter at all. Because with where Hobbit is, if they just retreat and deal with Watts, that's a free site and a free splitter in Hobbit to split that defense and split the situation. And right now, he split the difference for Cloud9, up to 21 kills. Looking very, very good. And they're sure they may still be 3 rounds behind, but sYnck, they're losing these rounds, which they will have been filled with hope with. You know, when you're in 5v3, you think, yes, let's take this one, boys. And then you lose it, and ever so slightly, the confidence ebbs away.
And that was Hobbit's game sense and the initiative that he takes there towards the top of middle, because he knows Axile's gone down and his team are looking bleak in the round. He has to make some sort of a play to bail them out. I'll echo the same sentiments. I think that Watts just overplays his hand there. Needed to play more passively. Just hold down the line, hold down the angle. It's not even like Cloud9 were committing into the B exec. So he had no reason to continue to aggress on that flank.
Sitting in the mid, cubby. That would be the best spot, for sure.
Absolutely. Yeah, tucked in the corner. Axile tucks Watts into the Netherrealm. Tucks him into bed. Fates is going to look to aggress off the back of that man. Oh, man. He is feeling himself right now.
It's just these frags, though, that are just going against them in mid-round, and Cons tries to play with the smoke. You can't do that against Nafany. Andu will get a kill back in return. It's another one of these close situations in a 2 versus 3, but they need a kill back right now, and Andu walks into 2 players. It's starting to fall away, and it feels weird to say that when they're still going to be 2 rounds in front, but it's just the feeling of the game, and of course, the difference in the 2 teams' statures in World CS.
Yeah.
I think anyone can argue with that. Fates will try and save the AWP, but if Cloud9 want to, they can most certainly go hunting with at least 2 players.
Yeah, they should actually, right? When you look at the economic buffer they have behind them right now. 13-11. The half score was 12-3 for anybody who's just joining us, in favor of sYnck, obviously. So they had a 9-round lead coming into the CT side. They've only won a single round since then. Cloud9 have closed the gap to just 2. And the job's done. 11 on the board for Cloud9. At least in terms of the job of winning that round. Keep in mind, Vertigo's up next. And that is, it's almost like a guaranteed win for Cloud9. As much as you can guarantee a win in Counter-Strike, that's got to be it, right? Doesn't get more.
Vertigo is the home of Cloud9. It's like they'll know that map like the back of their hand. They can probably draw it with their eyes closed, because Just historically, even when the Vertigo came into the map pool, its inception, they were the ones to adopt it back in the
Yeah,
day.
Gambit Youngsters,
Yes, exactly.
2019. Yeah, you're bang on
And
actually.
I even casted them back then, yeah. I mean, they were ridiculous, and Shiro has kept up that insane form from back then on that map. I mentioned that statistic earlier, which I will get into on Vertigo. I'll save it for them once again, but yeah.
Don't want to blow your load now, Trav.
No, keep the good stats for later, for sure.
Here we go. Hero's probably a construction worker on Cloud9. He's just so familiar with the building. He's been so good on the map. Either way,
Indeed.
Cloud9 looking to build themselves into a victory here on Ancient and turn sYnck into history. No money in play here for the most part for the CT side. I mean, they've consistently kept a player or two alive in the rounds that they're losing, but look at how they've had to plug those gaps now. It's an MP9 and a FAMAS. Lights on util, no kits, looking bleak. Oh, okay.
Miss Molotov from Shiro. Don't worry, we didn't see it. I would
have actually flushed the player out, by the way.
It would have, yeah, and actually, Eku got the better of Hobbit after Hobbit got the better of him in the previous round. Shiro will go for a spam, and now sYnck just needs to be extra careful. There have been multiple situations where they've got caught out by players coming in through flanks, through Red Room, through in towards CT. Hobbit did that a couple of times. So if they can just keep a man bondage intact, it would be possible, but I don't think there's much comms can do about that, unfortunately. Flashed and wide swung by Nafany. The question can be, why did he need to be there at this stage of the round with 30 seconds to go? But either way, that is now history. And it looks like Cloud9 do want to go toward B. Bomb is gravitating over, and Nafany is into the site while the smokes are up. They should be able to get this plant, but Fates does have this incendiary. It's going to be nicely placed, and that will burn Buster out of the situation. Lots of damage done. Nafany playing in the smoke, but Fates deals with it nicely. Flash over, but there, of course, is no defuse kit. They're going to have to go quickly, and right now they most certainly are. Eku gets one more, and Shiro will miss a critical shot, but Axile stepping up huge once again. There is nothing you can do about that. It's now down to Watts against the monster that is Axile, looking for a quad kill to finish off this clutch. Spots him. Smoke being played with. Headshot hit once again. Nothing you can do about that. Axel steps up and says to sYnck, no.
Yeah, we saw Shiro with the 1v4 clutch earlier on. Now we see Axel standing tall with the massive amounts of impact out of that 4K. Those 3 kills came in such quick succession, the first 3 frags, and the kill we didn't catch was actually the frag onto Fates, who was holding the angle on Axel, so he would have stepped into the scope and he gets the frag, but then he's still out in the open, right? And he's just fighting tooth and nail to keep himself alive. I love the confidence in the 1v1, standing out in the open on the off angle, backs himself every day of the week, and he wins the round for his team.
Classic Axile, the star rifler. Lots of people still consider him one of the best riflers in the world.
Yeah, with good reason.
Disagree. Heartbreaker for sYnck once again. That's a 5v3 and now a 4v2 that they've managed to lose. Sure, that 4v2 was most certainly not easy in that particular afterplant scenario. But they've had opportunities and they'll know it. In their hearts and in their brains, they might be thinking they should be on 15 by now, at least.
And if you're not winning those rounds, you're not going to be Cloud9. It's as simple as that. Hobbit phases through the smoke, catches Andu completely off guard. Opening pick found here for Cloud9. Look at the economic game for sYnck as well. If they lose this, they're probably going to lose the lead, because they'll have to eco in the next round. And at this point, Cloud9 are just fighting to save face, Trav.
I know. Don't forget, Shiro at one point in this game was like, I think 2-6. He's now 17-15. Just shows that class is permanent. Nice head up hold there, actually, from Eku. Not hiding in the corner. You're standing up against Shiro, and that actually does drop the bomb here. And Nafany is just holding for him to cross. I think he knows that he's in that cubby. Axel will try and get a Molotov to force him away, but that will only keep him behind it. Information spotted. Lovely headshot. That takes down Axel as well. Nafany trades it, but he's been dinked through the Red Room smoke. Okay. 3v3, 40 seconds, and once again, Hobbit might have to be the hero, but he's only 46 HP himself.
Where did Cloud9 go from here? That's the question. They've got a player on each extremity of the map right now. Options available. Nafany is the one with the C4 under his control. Looks like both Hobbit and Buster are going to try to make moves on their respective sites. And Watts, he gets caught on a swivel. That cost him his life, and after Hobbit secures that frag, Nafany picks up the bomb and immediately starts to transition towards the A site though, but the cross is undercover. However, Hobbit is the hero, as you mentioned. He gets called into action and he stands tall.
So many close rounds. This is actually like, I mean, don't get me wrong, I do love Cloud9. I love watching them play, but this is going to be an absolute heartbreaker for sYnck. And honestly, I think for us, to be fair, because we were so hopeful for a close series, which we saw that 12-3 start. And goodness me, every single close round. I mentioned the 5v3, I mentioned the 4 versus 2. And now, a close 3v3 that could have easily gone their way. Well, unfortunately, just lose it to star power again. Hobbit catching Watts, and that's twice now that unfortunately Watts is in a situation where he probably could have turned the round in sYnck's favour. Hobbit may go down to the bomb. We've seen a number of players actually get caught out with how big the bomb radius is now on Ancient.
Yeah.
But doesn't matter in this case. They've got plenty of cash.
I've always wondered, what are the explosives on these bomb sites, man, that just make it so powerful?
I know.
On Nuke, it's a lot smaller.
You can die in mid.
Ironically.
Like, the bomb can be planted on A, and you can die like in the corner of mid if you're really low. It's kind of crazy.
I mean, Ancient and Inferno are just like nightmare fuel for teams when they're trying to escape that bomb explosion.
Yep.
Eco round for sYnck. They barely ecoed throughout this whole half because they've constantly saved players in the rounds that they've been losing. They've kept guns alive. Now they've had to bite the bullet. And there goes their 1M4. Andu recovers and actually gets a kill.
Oh, I was going to say, don't go in for that AK. That was a bit of a gamble, but he actually manages to get away with it. He's continuing to show presence. Of course, so wallbangable, that position. Axel just deletes Watts again, though. Nothing you can do about that.
Love his AK comp, by the way. The reason stickers on the white and green. Oh, okay. Andu, double kill on the spray down. Here in the eco round, all of a sudden, he's actually breathed life into this one here for sYnck.
2 again.
Oh no, great patience.
But Hobbit. Okay, bomb recovered for Andu, but he doesn't know about Axile. He's not glancing at it. This is a humongous 1 versus 1. So many advantageous situations for sYnck. So many close rounds. Can they finally take one in their favor? Andu, one of the stars of the team, I mentioned it before the game started, is looking for his ace here. And he does have the health advantage, and he hits it. Absolutely massive for sYnck. Andu steps up with all 5. And that gets them back into the lead at 14-13. What a round to win. Winning it on a half investment as well is good for their economy. Cloud9, of course, are fine. But sYnck take one tiny step closer.
He didn't sit by idly waiting. He took the initiative. He got into the faces of Cloud9, traded out his teammates. I mean, you think about Nafany pushing through the smoke there after he gets the kill. Is that entirely necessary in the anti-eco? Maybe he's trying to stop them from picking up that rifle, but he essentially offers his life up on a silver platter. What a way for sYnck to win their second round here on their CT side. 14-13, they've regained the lead. Cloud9, are they going to stumble right at the finish line here of this crazy comeback on their T side?
Wouldn't that be something? They do have, I would say, I'm pretty sure they're right in saying they would have one more buy in arrears. Even if sYnck were to win this round at 15-13, they would be able to buy Cloud9 with at least 3 players.
They would.
So I think they're going to be okay, but sYnck have a wonderful opportunity now. That's a bolster to their confidence at this edge of the game, and Cloud9 are going to turn up the pace once again. Watts under pressure, needs 1, gets none. Eku now has to step up, but Buster just pre-fires him out of the round. Nothing you can do about that. Fates will miss his critical shot up close, and he's now burning to the Molotov. No. There's a second Molotov in the action, but he goes aggressive and deals with Buster beautifully. Andu comes in at a great timing, looking for a second, but Axel says no again. It's Fates and Cons, 2 versus 2. Another close round in this series. And on this map, but Axel's got a dirty angle onto that smoke. Aggression from Fates to try and take him down, but not to be. Cloud9 get to 14, and we've got a guaranteed round 30 at least coming in here.
Axile is carrying this T side right now. He has the whole of Cloud9 on his back, and he is winning them this half. And potentially with that, the map. Look at the money here for sYnck. It's in the dumpster. No. They've got a max round loss bonus, but Fates is already invested into the AWP. Surely it's just going to be the only weapon, right? Yeah, there we go. I mean, he's been great with it. I love how he decides to push through the molly there, get a little bit ahead of the game, was able to earn the kill. But Axel, as you said, that was just a disgusting angle peering below the smoke.
Fates. That's a lovely opening pick. Could be huge. They now, of course, know where the AWP is, though. And if Cloud9 have read the economy correctly, they might realise that there isn't too much else in this round. And Axel will once again deal with Watts. There's not much he's been able to do against Axel in this game. He's been getting deleted. 12 and 24, which is always rough. And there's the AWP interaction for Shiro, taking down his counterpart. Nice swing from Andu, but Buster was always going to be on the trade. But again, 2 versus 2. Again!
I can't believe it. How are these rounds continuously getting so damn close, Trav?
It's unbelievable. And Axel needs to be careful here. He's now tagged down to 32, but he's calm on the tap, thankfully, to recover the situation. But Cons has rotated into the correct position. Unfortunately, the Molotov means he can't go too aggressive on 4 HP.
Needs to save.
He needs to save the AWP, realistically. I can understand if he really wants to go for this. It's a one-time in his career opportunity to make a play like this happen against Cloud9, but you really need that AWP for the final round of the game.
Yeah, Fates is watching this thinking, mate, maybe just save the AWP.
Maybe fall
Probably
back,
a good
please.
idea. Yeah, wouldn't you mind
Please.
just taking that gun into the next round? And Cons be like, yeah, okay, fair enough. And it's going to be 15-14. My God, what a crazy fight back here from Cloud9. Great resilience and mental fortitude displayed from the favorites. One of the teams I think everybody's expecting to qualify for IEM Dallas, as you mentioned, the defending champions. It would just be a disaster if they didn't even stand a chance of defending their title. Axel will die to the bomb explosion. That doesn't matter too much.
It doesn't.
15-14. sYnck have one more chance here to keep themselves alive on Ancient and take this into overtime in the process.
Let's see. Overtime would be something that, as you said beforehand, Hayes, they would probably bite your hand off if you offered them that before the game. So let's see how it goes this time. Cloud9 have everything, so does sYnck. They're committing to a double AWP for the final round of this map. Andu on the secondary, in goes Shiro, but he walks into Andu, and they're not expecting the AWP to be in that position, and Andu's going aggressive ahead of this Molotov. But now they realise he's close up and he's had to unscope. That's the biggest problem, but he still gets a second and even a third as well. Oh my goodness, it's a 5 versus 1. Axile. 1 versus 5. Andu gets the frag. Easy peasy for sYnck to get it to overtime. We're going to go to a quick break, I believe. And when oh, no pauses. Hell yeah. We're sticking with the game. We're going right in, and that's what we like to see. sYnck. What a recovery. And now they do have an overtime to play out. They've got their reward for a superb game played out so far.
They deserved it. They fully deserved at least a shot in overtime. And who else but Andu to earn them that opportunity? I mean, great impact. I think he gets 3 kills in that all-important round. Cloud9 shell-shocked. Never ever would have expected to be in this position in the series coming into it. But they need to just reset, keep their eyes on the prize.
Let's go. It's been an incredibly fun game so far, I will say. So many close rounds, so many situations that could go either way. That's what makes these sort of matches so fun. Seeing an underdog playing out their heart against one of the best teams in the world. Looks like might be going for a bit of an execute toward B, but there's only 3 players here at the moment, and that Molotov explodes mid-air. That's unfortunate. Means that Cons can stay in the position he was originally intending to sit. Oh, sYnck.
Gonna be some aggression.
Aggressive.
Their flash here for them to continue to push off. Doesn't actually matter. They catch the T side in mid-execute. Bomb and drop. Double kill for Cons. He's going to reappear afterwards. Nafany trades, but it's just a sea of blue in the kill feed. Nafany's frag was the only one in the round so far until Axel adds another to the tally, but feels like it's just a consolation frag at this point. He's been dinked down. 24 points of health. 30 seconds on the clock. This is unwinnable here for Axel.
Yep. sYnck. Guess what? They're going to retake the lead here unless something ridiculous happens. There you go. Eku gets it done, and I love that. What we haven't seen from sYnck in the entire map so far is that sort of aggression. It's very common on Ancient to put 2 CTs outside of B, push aggressively, and try and catch T side unawares. And they did that. They did exactly that. Even dropped the bomb in the process of the execute, like you said. And in the midst of that madness, Cloud9 peeked into other sYnck members and they just took them down easily. 16-15.
They've won 2 rounds in a row now. Last round of regulation, first of OT. It's the first time they've strung consecutive rounds together on their CT side as well. Cloud9 probably starting to feel the pressure a little bit more now because, yeah, they would have felt quite comfortable with the way that T side was playing out in regulation, but now their backs are against the wall. And it's going to be another opening kill that comes through here. IGL and IGL in towards Jaguar. Going to be the CT side IGL that comes out on top of that one. As has been the case more often than not, actually. Oh, no. But why has he gone and done that, Trav?
Why has he gone and done that? That is a bit of a blunder from Cons. I'm not sure what the necessity was to go for an aggression through the smoke like that. We're still over a minute to go in the round.
Especially with Watts in this position in towards A main. It's not like he's feeling any pressure or calling for rotations.
Yeah. Of course, we're not in the team speak though, so we're not to know exactly what the communications were. Who knows? We can only make a judgment based off of what we see from the outside. Anyway, bomb once again primed outside B. Cloud9 going to try this one again. And 4 versus 4 with Andu so low, even though he does have the AWP. That is a bit of a handicap. And in they go. 30 seconds is when Cloud9 pulled the trigger. Fates gets one. He's burnt out of the cubby though, and he's doing so well to stay alive, but not long enough. Everyone removed. Watts in that position toward A is now cancelled out. And Cloud9 should be equalizing it again at 16 apiece.
That was good discipline there from Axal, not to just commit straight into that B-bomb site to try and trade out his teammate, because if he continued to just charge in, he would have fallen to that spray from Fates, the pre-fire. Just a little bit of a stutter step there from Axal. Keeps him alive, gets him the kill. Watts, yeah, 1v2, 1v3, excuse me, why not go for this kit? So much utility as well, full belt still, but that doesn't matter. He's been the one guy who hasn't really been able to keep up with the pace of the game, right? I feel like he was probably around 10 kills at the end of the first half in regulation. So really struggled on the CT side so far, has Watts.
Yeah, I mean, realistically, right? As you mentioned, actually, earlier on, sYnck were all performing really well as a 5 together. And unfortunately, Watts has been left behind. And I think it's fair to say that we can't expect a player of sYnck's caliber in the first game against a team of this caliber in Cloud9 for them all to be performing whole game. So I think they've done a fantastic job so far. And so at least get one on CT is important, because of course they've been playing CT for what must feel like an age now. They're going to finally go back to T side again after this round, which they did so much of their best work on with that 12-3 half. But look at Cloud9 again, using that smoke up toward Donut to get control of Red Room. Thankfully Fates is watching it, and that's a nice shot. Early opening pick.
And look at Andu, aggression. Hobbit caught off guard. We've seen him make that play a number of times throughout Cloud9's T side so far. This time, he's been thwarted. Fates flashed off the angle. Means Cloud9 start to close the gap in towards A, but there are a number of CT players on the side of the map. All hell breaks loose. Trades are the name of the game, favoring the T side initially. Pushed through the smoke from Andu. Time to perfection. Also goes down to Shiro.
Oh,
it's going to be all on the Russian sniper.
Yeah, it goes down to Shiro, but you're leaving Shiro in a clutch, and that can be so problematic for any team in the world. Tech9 out looking for the player, and he's found him beautifully. Wow. What can you do about that? 2 Tech9 taps, so calm from Shiro. And he spares Cloud9's blushes again. Andu the play through the smoke to deny that bomb plant. I actually think that was the correct decision in the end, because it means they can't set up in a 2v3, which they've been so good at holding in this game so far. But yeah, Shiro, I'm afraid, is just too good, taking 2 heads-up duels straight away. When you give Shiro 2 1 versus 1s, that is what happens.
He was so composed in that situation as well. And that's just going to instill more confidence into the side of Cloud9. When you see your star player just remaining so calm in a situation like that, everybody else just breathes a sigh of relief as well.
Exactly.
17-16, keep in mind, I know the first half of regulation feels like an absolute age ago, but sYnck started on the T side at the start of this map, and they went up 12-3 at their half, so feels like an absolutely imperative second round on the T side for Cloud9 in overtime as they now switch to the CT half.
Yeah, can they remember what worked best for them? That is the question.
Not much. For Cloud9, that is.
For Cloud9,
that
is.
Yeah.
sYnck, they have to try and remember they did best. Or got played in the smoke. That's a grimy angle from Hobbit once again. Eku can't even find that one. And look at the timing peak from Nafany. Cole's given no chance, and then Andu has to go through a smoke, desperately trying to trade, but that did just look desperate, didn't it? Needing that kill in return, and Buster will deal with Fates as well. It's down to Watts. 1 versus 4. Buster has spotted him out. Long range spray, nicely done. 18-16 for Cloud9, and now they have some map points to restore some order to what has been a ridiculous game.
Well, they had 1 in regulation on their T side. Now they have 2 in overtime on their CT side. And actually, I really like the way they play that previous round. They're getting into the faces of sYnck. They know that sYnck are going to be feeling the pressure. And they're starting to bully their opponents, which is exactly what you want out of the team that's ranked the 7th best in the world against a team that's ranked 100th plus right now. So get in their faces, bully them. Show them who the better team and better individuals are.
Can sYnck stay alive? Another great pick from Fates. He's been superb in this game. Buster removed, but look at the angle being played by Hobbit. He's just been playing with these smokes all map, and there's nothing that sYnck can do about it. 4 versus 3. Watts gives the A-bomb site a glance, but there is a player behind the box he did have a glance at. And it looks like he's going to try and go in just kind of alone right now. That will actually force a rotation around from Hobbit. And Axile will look for this frag, gets it. But it does open up mid. It's still a 4 versus 2, but it gives some ability to maybe push forward. But now the information has been spotted. And I think, unfortunately, after what was a superb performance from sYnck, it is now getting away from them.
Nafany could be in a bit of trouble here. Fairly low, standing out in the open, he will fall, but Shiro's on point to trade. Great kill coming through from him. Con's left alive, but not for much longer. And it was the expected result, just not the way we thought we would get here. Cloud9 win map number 1, but my god, was that a hard-fought victory.
Oh, well, I gotta say, series isn't over. It's game set, but not match. But I will have to say that a round of applause sYnck deserves, because